Hi, I'm Wendy Miller, and this class was Movement Matters. If you want more information about that, you can find me at wendymillerdance.com. Dub, you know. This class is designed as a jazz class for West Coast swing dancers. If you go to a jazz or a modern class, particularly jazz, you will start out with a warm-up. Things to get the legs moving. This is what we did in this class. We did step touch, and step touch to the front, and to the back, and to the side, and then we moved it all around and played with that. Then we did isolations for the rib cage, getting used to moving just your rib cage, and then the hips in all different directions. We did figure eights and up and down and all around. Then shoulders and head. And then we put it all together into lunges and rotation. That way. And we did body rolls, starting from here, and learned how to do it using our arms, progressing to not using the arms. Didn't go over front and back body rolls. So here, front and back. And we also talked about how body rolls are not as currently done in a big way. So these days, if you're going to do a body roll, just keep it little. The big stuff isn't really done right now in West Coast swing. And basically, I talked about how in order to have these skills, you have to repeat them over and over again. We worked a little bit on footwork as well, going up and slowly lowering to strengthen your feet, to be able to have good footwork. And we talked a little bit about how to extend the leg and have one leg bent at a time, and worked on rondes and how to make them look nice. So this class is built out of a DVD that I produced in order for people who aren't living in my town to have a class they can do specifically for West Coast swing dancers that trains the body to do the movements that you need to do in West Coast swing. So if you're interested in that, check out my website. It's called Movement Matters. The DVD is called Movement Matters, and wendymillerdance.com is where you can find it. So enjoy your dancing. Thank you. Hi, my name is Wendy Miller, and welcome to Girl Stuff. Today we did a class that focused a lot on posture and how to hold yourself in a way that makes you feel good about yourself. And we explored the idea of actually liking how you look and feel as a woman in this dance. And the first thing that you really have to get used to is the idea of lifting your rib cage. And so many of us have a real challenge with that. As Western human beings sitting in chairs, we tend to have very tight muscles across here, and our bottoms tuck under, and our rib cage goes back a little bit, and we tend to stand around like this. So when we're dancing, that tends to be our posture as well. It's really hard to change something that our body has organized itself around for many years. Changing that posture and lifting the rib cage up using the muscles of the back takes some practice. And I have a couple of exercises that I do to do that, and you need a wall. I don't know if I want to demonstrate this. I'm going to demonstrate as though I have a wall right here, where this crack in the floor is my wall. My toes are tucked under, and my knees are against the wall, and I put my nose against the wall, and you feel like you're the dunce in the corner kind of thing, even bad. But you only need about 90 seconds in this position. What it does is it tells, pretend the wall is here, it tells my brain that this is vertical. And if I stay in this position for long enough, bottom needs to be relaxed, and your hips are back. When I stand up, I now have that vertical orientation, as opposed to, check this out, if I would drop my hips underneath me, like that, look at where my head goes. It goes back. So this would be my new, my sense of my brain is, well, that's not vertical, so what the head does is this. So I didn't change my spine, but I did change my head. So now I'm happy that vertical is a cool place. But look at my posture. So if you do the against the wall, it makes it easier to stand in a true vertical posture that's more healthy for you. So we worked with that a lot. And then we walked in that way. The hard thing is that when you take a step, as you bring the back foot forward, it's really tempting to drop the hips forward. So we had to practice that, keeping the hips back. And it feels, for quite a while when you first start this, like your bottom is way, way out behind you. So we practiced looking at each, like one half of the room and then the other half of the room, walking and noticing that it looked terrific. It didn't look as silly as we think it looks. Then we put that into the dance and looked at how we can move through a side pass being upright like that. Now, one of the benefits of lifting your rib cage is it can then rotate really well. And if you do a simple side pass, rotating a little bit with your rib cage on your 2, continuing to rotate the rib cage faster than the hips. So my rib cage is pointing there, my hips are pointing there. There's more of an angle here. I can style my side pass just by rotating my rib cage. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Then I can add an anchor variation that takes advantage of that. 1, 2. I'm starting to rotate my rib cage already, but not my hips. 3 and 4. I'm stopping here. My leader is there. So my anchor is going to be here. I'm looking at him out of the corner of my eye. 5, and again, rib cage is going more twisted than the hips. 6. Again, this direction. 1, 2, starting the rotation. 3 and 4. Leader is here. 5 and 6. Then we looked at a different way to walk to do your side pass. And we did a little drag, popping the heel up and turning and placing. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, step for 6. You can also wait until the 2. Here's your 1, here's your 2. Start it then. You don't have to start on the 1. Sometimes you don't know if it's a side pass on 1, but you know by 2. 3, 4, step, step. You're done. We also worked on a deceleration for turning, so that if you have a rolling side pass, for example, on 4, there's a deceleration moment right here. I'm squeezing my legs slightly toward each other. My heel is still hovering off the ground. Slight pressure into the floor with my left foot. Continue the rotation. So that's my yellow light. I've slowed down. Now I stop and anchor, so that at the end of my turn, I'm controlling my own stop, and I'm not grabbing onto the guy to stop me. Again, that's a way of releasing your upper body to have it be more natural, available for you to style with, instead of clamping it down and using it for strength. And we did a little bit with legs and feet, and I don't have too much time to go over that. If you want more information about girl stuff, I have 4 DVDs that go into great detail about all sorts of things, styling for followers. And you can find that out on my website, wendymillerdance.com. Thanks so much for joining me.